ways of doing things or the new realities. A lot of them will be telling you, but I went to a boarding school and there was a lot of discipline. But hey, dude, you guys were sleeping 60 or 40 in a dormitory. So the same dormitory visit there today, it is costing 300. Can we now have remove yourself from that time when you went to school in the 1990s and bring yourself now to 2026 right now, 2025, where we are saying the facility that you enjoyed, that had 40 of you, right now it has 300 of us. Explain
so
to
you
me,
can't compare.
You cannot compare, and everything else has grown, including the fact that we honestly need to think about this, and I know that sometimes I have ideas that people say that they shock you, but I want to imagine in this age that we lock children in a space where, and we tell them there are no technology gadgets. There are no technology.
You can go to the lab once a week.
You guys, are we then okay? Like, where? In 2025, we are telling children we are locking you up in a space where you will not interact with technology. Because why? We are looking at technology from the point of
misbehavior.
The devil has blinded us so much so that we cannot enjoy the advantages of technology that can even cure the teacher shortages that we are having. I mean, so we need to rethink. We need to rethink education, and we need to. And I thought that COVID times provided some sort of good shifts where we learned that we don't even need offices anymore. We don't need all this. You can actually settle somewhere with your laptop, anywhere with your laptop and do your thing. Why are we still insisting on doing things the colonial times way? Why are we insisting? Yet ourselves who are outside here, not in those schools, are not doing things that way.
It's interesting that you say that, Gladys. Janet, you know why? Because it's Gladys who just sent me this, and I'm asking, we introduced a curriculum in 2019. Stay with me here. They are current grade 10s. They are the latest entrance into this boarding system that has come from a place whereby you walk in the hallway, and if you see your senior, you nod. You don't even look them in the eye because that shows disrespect. You never answer back to a teacher. If they ask you a question, you look into space as though you don't understand what they're saying, because again, it would show disrespect. This grade 10, you have introduced them to a curriculum whereby they are supposed to ask questions. They are supposed to, if it doesn't make sense, say, excuse me, this doesn't make sense. You're looking at holistic learning that encompasses the social aspect as well as the subject. And now you've introduced them now into a boarding system whereby you are asking them to keep quiet, don't ask questions, eat the weevils, and let's just keep it moving. Don't ask questions about why you must shave your head. Don't ask questions about why you must have your hair plaited. Don't ask questions about why you can't use technology. Meanwhile, the last 7 years, these are the same things that you have been doing. Then you come and put them in this space, and then you will wonder why they ask you. And if they do or behave in a certain way, you beat them to within an inch of their lives. And then they're not supposed to ask, are these working at cross purposes? I said it here that honestly sometimes I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable when people throw around the thing of indiscipline, and I'm feeling like we're not unpacking it in the way that we should. And I'm glad that the listener has given us some very valuable feedback. It is that high school or the boarding, I want to concentrate on the boarding, because when you in your day, when you go back home, you now come back to the real life where you got your gadgets and you're able to communicate and all that, and even Google and do things on your phone and live a normal life. But now the children who were used to this one, and they have now gone to an enclosed space where it is only textbook. And lab, if that,
and lab hours are measured. They're not even 2 hours,
and not every day.
Give or take 45 minutes, and not every day, and not a laptop or a PC for everyone. So these are honestly the conversations that we must have, and we must have those conversations. And I'm choosing to have this conversation, knowing so well there's some parents that will be saying you are encouraging this. No. can we support ourselves to have very, very, very candid conversations from the child's perspective? Then I like what you said, that yes, banning dormitories is really, really, really bad. But we cannot gaslight our children. That we put them in circumstances, and when they do something out of probably protest, or they want to communicate with you because you've closed all the channels of communication, because when I tell you this, you will call me indisciplined, you will call my mother in school, and probably show my parents that I'm this or that. We are gaslighting our children. Can we address the root cause of the problems that the children are having? And that is why I was feeling that in this kind of situation, let us put politics aside and let us experience some leadership from the Ministry of Education. Can the ministry provide a forum or a platform for where we can discuss this concept? It is not a discussion about school fires, because school fires, the only thing that we can discuss is summarized in the manual.
Are they just a symptom? Because we have to ask, why are we burnt? So according to you, why are schools being burnt? Whether it's the dormitory, whether it's the storeroom, whatever the case may be. The PS, who is the officer in charge of this implementation that we're talking about, and this sector where this is happening, has said no, it's just some rogue people that we need to throw in jail. That's his solution to this. No, it's unfortunate. And that is why we always talk about meritocracy in appointing people in places such as those ones. At least now Kenyans have seen what kind of a joke that can be put to supervise over a very, very, very serious issue. I have no problem with what the PA said, but I have a very big problem that he chose to say it in a political rally. It was in very bad taste, and it shouldn't have happened. These are very serious conversations. These are very, very, very serious conversations, and conversations that affect the whole country. I have a problem with him dismissing it as some pockets. As some pockets. We are talking about how many schools. The tally today is 100 and something schools that have been closed. Some with very serious and bad incidences, such as Utumishi girls, and listening to an officer of high rank, such as the PS, dismissing this as and children that can be locked up in jail. And I wanted to tell him, careful. Yes. Just careful, because it could have been a child. It's interesting because just a couple of weeks, maybe about 3 weeks ago, he was in Nakuru County for a forum where school children were talking about their issues, and a girl stood up because there's a KNEC exam waiting for grade 10s. Yes, is it not on the 30th of June, if I'm not wrong? That week. There is an assessment exam. It's a big one for grade 10s, one of the first ones that they must do. And this girl stood up and she said, now, there are, I don't know how many of us in this class. The books are 6. The textbooks are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 700 and something of us. We don't have books for an exam that we are going to write in June. Yeah. The same PS stood and promised and pointed at some people and said, don't worry, by then we'll have the books. Guess what? That school is one of the ones that has closed in Nakuru County. One of the ones that has closed because of these things that we're talking about. So some of the frustrations that we see, that girls just want to go to a concert, I don't know by which person, or that girls don't want to, or students want to be lesbians or homosexuals, or that students want to just burn the school, or they want to eat bread and they don't want duma. It goes at how about children actually want to study, but they don't have the materials that they need to then be able to do it? And it's unfortunate. Because from where I sit, a lot of these issues have been discussed by children themselves, not even adults. True. The kind of children we have right now are even more competent than their parents. I'm afraid to say. You saw when we were having the finance bill conversations, that children are the ones that led the conversations, and the kinds of analysis that they were doing was amazing. We haven't done that kind of advocacy in a whole lot. And because of the exposure that these children have had, they're the technology children that have grown up with a lot of information around them and so on. And so when they are raising issues, I dare say that we have one end that has grown so much, and that is the children that have grown so much. And then we have our end, both parents and also because the people who are sitting in policy tables right now have been drawn from our population.